April 22nd, 2023. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Figure 4 podcast. My name is Doug, and in this episode, we're doing another watch along. It's from July 7th, 1990, the Great American Bash. It was Sting and the Nature Boy Ric Flair for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Donald and I covered this. We haven't seen this match in a very, very long time, so it was pretty fun for us. Fire up your WWE network. You can watch along with us. We've got all the times in the show itself. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get to it. Okay, so July 7th again, 1990, Great American Bash, Sting and Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship. Are you ready?
All good on this side, man.
All right, fire up the WWE network, and here we go. We are at 2 hours, 23 minutes, 14 seconds. And in 3, 2, 1, play. The Stinger. Man, he always got amazing pops.
He did.
A little bit of pyro for the man. You know, Ric Flair always talks so highly of him. It's funny for what he said, because he and the Ultimate Warrior were the Blade Runners. They were tag team partners. And he said, Ric Flair said, he was our Ultimate Warrior, but he was 5 times better and a great guy on top of it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Color coordination, but again, same as the Ultimate Warrior, smart marketing.
Yep.
You know, he came out with that hair and that face paint and that body. Man, the girls went wild. Girls cheered for him more than the guys did.
So this would have been his first match after his leg injury.
Yes.
So this is July. He hurt his leg back in February of the same year. That's a lot of time off.
It is. But see, he was different than like Luger, the last watch along we did. Sting's cardio was always amazing. And he,
yep.
you know, like he was like, I think Luger usually weighed in around 275 pounds. Sting was usually around 255, 260. So there wasn't a huge, I don't even know how you do that, like weight advantage for Luger. Is like Sting was a big dude too, and he was taller than Luger.
Yep.
But you never saw him take as many rest breaks as Lex Luger did, and here comes the man.
And agile too.
Very agile. He could fly
Jesus.
through that air like he was 200 pounds.
I didn't realize this. This is actually like a lumberjack match of some sort.
I didn't realize that until I saw the Steiners at ringside.
Yeah. Man, they had some matches back in the day.
Oh, don't look. Once and again, God rest his soul, when Vince got me into the NWA, I never looked at WWF the same again. The wrestling was just so much better.
Between Flair and Sting and Flair and Steamboat, the few matches that I had seen, and you introduced me to this. You're the one that introduced me to the WCW.
You know what? It was good, but back before WCW and the NWA blew WCW out of the water.
Oh yeah.
They were just so deep. I mean, you had the Horsemen. There's Ole. So you had Flair, Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Barry Windham, James J. Dillon with them. You had Lex Luger. You had Sting. You had Sid Vicious. You had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You had all these guys, and even the undercard was good. You had the Midnight Express. You had their roster was so deep, they just didn't have the marketing.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, they're chaining Goldie to Giant Gonzalez.
Tickle in my throat. Not very often you ever saw Ole Anderson cower to a man.
That's not a man. That's a damn giant.
I think that's what I will call thing one.
Okay, so maybe it's because of the Stars and Stripes, and that's what Cody has been wearing the last little while with the whole American Nightmare gimmick. the current Cody Rhodes and this Sting, I find very similar in how they carry themselves around the ring so far.
Well, I mean, he's the American Nightmare, right? Of course he's going to use the red, white, and blue. Because it's not the American dream, baby. Son of a plumber.
That crumb rind with the bent top on that belt.
Here we go. Just right off the bat. That's what Flair and Sting have had some great matches. The greatest one I ever saw was when they went head to head with WrestleMania, and they had Flair and Sting win a 45-minute time limit draw, and they never stopped. And I guarantee you this is going to be the same way.
They had a few hour-long matches too, didn't they?
Him and Flair, I'm sure they did, but Flair and Steamboat were known for going 1 hour time limit draws.
Yeah.
And Barry Windham too. But that's the thing. Like this was the wrestling back then. Like there were a lot of 1 hour time limit draws.
Yeah.
In the end, not so much WCW, but in the NWA. People say it's all the same thing. No, it's not. Look at that. Sting used to tell Flair, just chop me, chop me, chop me. It got to the point, it was actually the night that they went the 45-minute time limit where it was Sting's coming out party when he went the time limit draw with Flair. Flair chopped him so much and so hard that he cut Sting's chest open.
I believe it.
And Sting said the pain was so bad, and I was so mad I got numb. And I got impervious to anything. He was hitting me with some stiff shots, and I never felt any of it. He said, and the adrenaline just wouldn't stop pumping. He said, I went back to the locker room, and I could hardly stand up. And then I slept for the entire next day.
No doubt.
Just from the adrenaline rush. Look at Sting. I love that smile on him. Just like, oh, look at this on the ramp.
Nick Patrick, the referee. Geez, he must have been a rookie ref at the time.
No, Nick Patrick was refereeing in the NWA as well. Just coming on the end of the NWA is when he started. And then at this point, I want to say Pee Wee was still there, but I don't know who would have been the senior official. But yeah, he was still young there. I always liked Nick Patrick as a referee. There was another referee, Tommy Young. Tommy Young was an amazing referee.
Right. Snapmare there by the H.
He's going to drop that knee. I always love this knee drop. Drop it and then the roll. Look at that.
Yep. Signature moves, man. Like, you could tell what Flair was setting up for almost every single time.
Yep.
And
Bret Hart was the same way.
Oh, Bret. That's why I want to see if I can find Bret versus Flair for the heavyweight belt.
I've watched that match in its entirety once or twice. It's a great match. It's not like the technical masterpiece you'd think it is.
Right.
But it's still good. The speed of that. See, look, Luger could never do this.
Good God, no.
Just how fast Sting is for a big guy. 6'5", 255, 260.
Flair doing the begging on his knees. Rolls out of the ring.
Yeah, wrong side, Nate. Wrong side. Everyone's got to take a little powder, even the Nate.
Again, this is another match that I'm sure I've seen it, but it's been so long. Like, I don't remember any of it.
It's been a few years for me watching this, too.
It's what I love, going back and watching some of these archive matches, man. It's like rediscovering them again for the first time.
Oh, he's going to work on that knee now.
Typical Flair.
Jesus, those chops.
That's gotta hurt, man. Like,
oh, of course it does.
Looking at some of these, like some of the welts. There's something that Flair, when earlier in the match when he had Sting in the corner and he started laying into him, and you had mentioned that Sting was like, just chop me to hell. He caught him in the throat a few times. It looked like.
Oh yeah. Well, there's going to be a couple go astray.
Yep. Bounces up every single time.
Look at Flair. The eyes never leave Sting's eyes.
Never.
He's telling a story without even moving.
Test of strength here. One arm. Oh, nice forearm shot.
Really nice. See, and Nate was stiff, but it wasn't like he was going to rock you or hurt you. It was just enough like, okay.
Sting was a pretty good seller too.
Oh yeah, Sting was great. Sting was just an all-around great wrestler. Scientific? No. But a great performing wrestler? Yes, absolutely.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that he was like a power wrestler. I mean, he was big, and he's a powerful guy, but like he wasn't the muscle in a match.
In the NWA, he was.
He wasn't like. I guess what I'm trying to say is he wasn't a Sid Vicious.
No, God, no. But see, when WCW was the NWA, he was a power guy.
Yeah.
But he was also about 10 pounds bigger in the NWA as opposed to here.
More of the signature Flair. Those chops, man.
Oh,
Holy
those
Jesus.
are teeth rattlers. Oh, see, you can see his chest. It's starting to turn. He's got a little sunburn on there.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. It's upper chest close to the throat.
Yep. Backed up in the corner. Sting's favoring that knee now.
Oh, see, look at him. Look at him go. You'd never see Luger do this. This is why I love it. And they were tag team partners for a while, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
So Luger would get, oh, that hurt. Luger would get in the ring after Sting, and the crowd was just like, oh, God.
Nature Boy working on that knee again.
Right back to the knee. Jesus, look at this. Look, even back then, Scotty Steiner, you could still show a movie on his back.
Oh, my God.
And he wasn't near the size he was this would have been 1990, maybe 7 years down the road, 6 years down the road. He's going to get about 25 pounds bigger.
That man had muscles in spots that I didn't even know was possible.
Jesus Christ, his crap probably had muscles. And he passed a drug test every time.
Jesus.
That man was never suspended once for steroids. Never.
Just naturally gifted.
Just naturally. Well, that's why they started calling him Freakzilla. Because he was just... like, it was just him.
Oh, Sting gonna look at throwing the figure 4. He's got it. Not in the dead center of the ring, but he's got it.
Flair could always sell this fantastic with that rooster haircut that we talked about before.
Whether it was the Flair flop or if he was just selling pain, man, he's possibly one of the greatest to ever grace the ring. Just his presence in the ring, his interaction with the fans, but yet still the ability to just, you had mentioned him and he's not taking his eyes off of Sting. Like his focus is just there.
Yep.
Like he's so involved in the match.
He didn't do bad for a guy that was supposed to never wrestle again, broke his back in 3 places in a plane crash.
Yeah.
He actually was on... who was on the plane with him? There was Bob Bruggers, Johnny Valentine, who was Greg Valentine's father, and there was another wrestler too. I can't remember. I can't remember who, but Greg Valentine's father was killed in that plane accident.
I was just going to ask. I mean, I knew that he was in a plane crash. I didn't know if there were any fatalities or not.
Yeah. The pilot hung on for a while, but he wound up passing away because of his injuries.
Right. Oh, Flair with the sweep.
Yeah.
Takes that leg out from underneath Sting again.
That's pretty good. We're like bang on, like we're watching it at the same time. There's no lag. Poor Oli.
Chained to that big bastard. Jesus, I didn't know a human being could be that big. I mean, then there's Omos in WWE today, but...
Remember the Don Cherry story? Damn it, Jim, you're a great big bugger. That's him. Look at Flair just keeping on to just dissecting that leg. Like, snapmare, another knee drop.
Oh, stomp.
Just kick him right in the head.
I know we've talked about, the odd errant kick that might actually make connection, but man, Flair could sell those kicks.
Oh yeah, like this is one thing. I feel like almost like, well, Bret Hart said it the first time he's defended wrestling all his life. People like, oh, it's fake. Well, when you go to a movie theater and you watch Sylvester Stallone or Arn Anderson kick the crap out of like 100 people and then murder everyone, do you call that fake?
Yeah.
There's an art to wrestling. There is, and it's a big art.
Absolutely.
And, but people just don't look at it like that. Like, I'd love to see the average Joe say, oh, yeah, they know how to fall. Well, of course they do, dumbass. Well, that ring is soft anyway. Okay, well, let me pick you up and slam you in it and see how it feels.
Yep.
Because I know what's under that ring. I've been in a ring, and it hurts. It hurts.
And you know what, man? Accidents happen. Look back to Bret Hart and Dino Bravo in Quebec. Bret's on the apron. Bravo knocks him off the apron, and he ends up breaking 2 or 3 ribs after hitting the steel railing.
He's going into that place,
and he's connecting with those chops.
Come on, more.
Look at him; he's just working him over.
Look at his chest. The blood vessels are broke everywhere.
Imagine the next day the bruising.
Oh, I can't imagine how that would feel.
Another press slam here by Sting.
I thought he was going to start begging.
He's done that a few times in this match. That's kind of a sloppy cover.
Oh, now he's going to start just pounding away. Hip toss? Nope.
Into the other corner, up and over. Signature Flair and a clothesline.
See, it's just nonstop. And this match is good. Don't get me wrong. But it's nothing like the Clash of Champions the night that they went head-to-head with WrestleMania. That was Sting's coming out party when he went 45 minutes. He went the TV time limit. That match would make this match look like poop.
I have to see if I can find that one. I'd love to do a show on that one.
Stinger splash. Oh,
and the Flair flop.
I honestly don't. I got to find out where he got that. I don't.
Scorpion Deathlock. Foley's fighting to get away. Is he in the? Does he have him in the center?
He's got him in the center, but he's not sitting. Oh, here come the Horsemen.
Here come the Horsemen.
Oh, Sid was with them back then. Jesus, Sid and Barry Windham with the 4 Horsemen. Like, that should have been the group of all groups. Yep. Well, the Steiners are fighting them off.
He's almost at the ropes. He's got the ropes. Sting has to break the hold. Now, of course, he's looking at what's going on the ramp. Big punch.
Man, Flair could sell.
Oh, yeah. And that side of the ring, man, like, there's no give.
Oh, no, on the apron? No.
Scotty Steiner knocks the legs off the rope.
What are you doing?
Curls him up. Only a 2 count.
Power
Jeez,
up.
the ring work. Oh my God, the mat work here, man.
Yep. Backslide.
The exchange back and forth is just...
See, Flair used to use the... Heenan used to call it when you go for a backslide. Flair used to just give the low blow from like with the back of the leg, and Heenan would always say, "Oh, it's that trick knee." Stinger splash again. No, oh, he hit the knee. Hit the knee in the corner.
That's the same one that Flair was working on.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah. Oh,
small package.
Small package.
I can hear Jim Ross. My God, Sting has done it. Sting has won the world title. There's Mr. Wonderful. The place just coming unglued.
The Giant's dragging Ole back to the dressing room.
I see that.
Come on, Ricky.
That's definitely an idea for another show because, like I said, this match was okay. But you want to see a good match between Sting and Flair. That Clash of the Champions when they ran head-to-head with WrestleMania. My God. 45-minute time limit draw. Way better than this one.
I'll tell you, man, you know, in as many matches as I've seen Flair in over the years, there's one question that comes to my mind, and we've talked about it a few times. What the fuck ever happened to that belt where it ended up getting dented or bent at the top?
Well, I read the book, and no one seems to know. They figure it was dropped on the cement floor or it got thrown into a post or something, and it just bent, but no one really knows. He always looked good wearing that belt, Sting.
Yep. Little side note, too. This was the debut of Big Van Vader on this card.
Was it?
It was.
I guess, he would have wrestled in Japan.
They talked about it on the opening credits whenever I first pulled up the pay-per-view. And they said we're going to have the debut of I can't remember if he was Big Van Vader or if he was just Vader at the time.
It was probably Big Van Vader. He's gassed. You can. He's definitely gassed.
He's.
That's kind of weird. A nice big Sting face comes down and catches fire.
It's a little morbid, I think.
Just a little bit. One of the greats, man. Two of the greats.
Is he still going in? What was he with? Ring of Honor?
AEW.
He's in AEW now.
He was with Darby Allin for the longest time, but now for the last few months, I'm in and out of AEW. Right. I haven't seen him on TV in the longest time. I don't know if he's hurt or if he's just taking time off, but the last time I saw him 2-3 months ago, he was still jumping off railings 12, 15 feet in the air and putting guys through tables.
Jesus.
At 65, 66 years old. So I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't have to do it. Darby was definitely his last protege, that's for sure. But
his fucking chest, man.
Oh yeah, you could see the finger marks.
It looks like he was whipped with a belt.
Yep.
Holy Jesus.
He was one tough bugger.
And that will do it for another episode of the Figure 4 podcast. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. My name is Doug. Next week, as of the posting,
of this episode, we are a few days late releasing it. There is a new World Heavyweight Championship belt. So this weekend, we're going to be discussing this brand new World Championship. Do we like it? Do we not like it? The pros, the cons. Are we glad to see it back? But until then, this again has been the Figure 4 Podcast. My name is Doug, and I'm out. Thanks for listening.